Chris the Nightmare Ariel, and you're watching Mission Boxing Today on YouTube.
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? So this is going to be a good undercard, a good card as far as just watching some heavyweight boxing. So I like this fight being added to the Deontay Wilder-WAWRZYK undercard. I know a lot of fans, they're displeased about Wilder fighting WAWRZYK, but as far as, you know, for me, I'm a huge heavyweight fan, as we all know. So it'd be a good night of boxing as far as watching some heavyweights, you know what I mean? So I like the undercard. You got Mansour versus Travis Kauffman, and they also added ARTUR SZPILKA versus DOMINIC BREAZEALE. So I like the undercard, and I think they might want to pair the winners of the two undercard fights to fight each other. Before I get to the fight itself, Mansour and Kauffman, if you guys go on YouTube or go in the search box and type in SZPILKA versus Mansour, I actually did a prediction video on that fight. Remember, guys, that fight was going to happen December 2015. Just type it in, you'll see my prediction video, and then that fight ended up getting canceled because remember, Wilder was looking for a fight first quarter of this year or 2016, and that's when SZPILKA canceled the fight with Mansour, and he ended up fighting for a world title against Deontay Wilder. So I would like the winners of these two undercard fights to fight each other. You know, SZPILKA and Mansour, they were going to fight each other, you know, and then Mansour has fought BREAZEALE. So if both these guys win their fights, it'd be a rematch. And then you got Travis Kauffman, and you know, so SZPILKA, I'm not sure what he would want to do. He is rated number 7 by the WBC. Out of these 4 fighters, he's the only fighter that's rated by a sanctioning body. But that's far down the road, you know. But I think it'd be a good matchup if they were to match the winner of the two undercard fights. Now to this fight itself, man. Now I first did a video on this. You can go ahead and go in the search box and type it in. If you type in Amir Mansour versus Travis Kauffman, my video will pop up from last month. And I caught wind of this on November 22nd when I made that video. A subscriber, I forgot your name, bro, but subscriber came to me and said, hey man, you need to go to Travis Kauffman's official Facebook page. Him and Amir Mansour are going at it. So they, you know, were challenging each other on Facebook, and then they said, hey man, we'll just fight each other. And I think they were trying to make the fight for January or February. Obviously the fight's going to take place in February. So yeah, man, you know, that social media squabble they had turned into a real fight. So or a fight that's going to take place in the ring. So Travis Kauffman, 31 years old, Amir Mansour, 44. Kauffman, 3-inch height advantage. He usually comes in around that 240 range. Mansour's last fight, he came in at 218. Fight before that, I think he was like 221. I know when he fought Fred Cassie, he was 232. I think the Dweckle fight, he was like 210. So I'm curious to see what kind of weight he's going to come in this fight. Now, when he was weighing at the 232 against Cassie, he wasn't fat. You know, this guy's not fat at all. You know what I mean? But I'm just curious to see what kind of weight he's going to come in at in this fight. His last fight against DOMINIC BREAZEALE, I thought he was winning the fight, man. I thought he was winning the fight. He suffered a nasty cut on his tongue. He was swallowing blood. First they were saying it was a broken jaw. Then they were saying it was a cut on his tongue that was real bad. He was swallowing blood. And in that fight, man, if you guys remember, he had like a indent on the side of his head, like by his temple area. And I never noticed that in any of his other fights. So I don't know if that happened from a punch or what happened, man. But suffered some nasty injuries in that fight, man. And that's, you know, then that's not DOMINIC BREAZEALE's fault. He's in there to put a hurting on somebody. So, you know, it's not his fault that Mansour got injured. But he had BREAZEALE down. I thought he was winning that fight. It looked like Mansour was starting to slow down a little bit when, you know, up until when he called it quits on his stool. It looked like BREAZEALE was gaining some momentum, man. It looked like the physicality and just the size was starting to take an effect on Mansour. I'm sure he'll disagree with me, but that's what it just looked like from watching it on TV. You know what I mean? But I thought he was winning the fight, though. You know what I mean? I thought he was doing a damn good job. I thought he started to get a little bit reckless, just a little bit, because he was trying to make BREAZEALE engage. He put BREAZEALE down with a damn good right hand from the southpaw position, too. So, thought he was winning that fight. The Washington fight was very debatable. A lot of guys thought that Cassie should have got the decision. It was a draw. You know, so that was a good fight. He does well against big guys, man. To be only a 6'1" heavyweight and to go in there with guys that are 6'6", 200 and 50, 60 pounds, he does a damn good job. Even Calvin Price was a big, tall heavyweight. What was Price, like 6'7" or something like that? He stopped him. The Cassie fight. Cassie's a tricky guy, man. And Mansour's able to put him to sleep, literally put him to sleep. The Dweko fight was a good brawl. Dweko's not a tall heavyweight at all. I think he's only like 5'10" or something like that. But that was a good brawl, man. You know, so Mansour brings a lot of experience. We know he had to do his bid in jail, where it took, I think he was in there for like 10 years or something, man. But incredible shape. He's a smart come forward guy too. He isn't just super reckless. He does like to work his jab, good foot movement, good balance. The guy knows how to fight. Kind of reminds me of Artur Spilka. They're kind of similar in their styles, man. In my opinion, both southpaw. But to me, Mansour's a little bit more aggressive, man. He's a little bit more aggressive than Spilka. Then Travis Kauffman, his last fight, he fought Josh Gormley. It was a non-televised fight. It was a part of that who was on that card, man? Robert Easter Jr. when he fought Kami, and I believe it was Daniel Jacobs versus Mora, the rematch. So it was an undercard fight, and I didn't get to see the fight, but I did a post fight on it, just getting the results out there. And I think there was a rumor that Gormley, he hurt his arm or something. That's why he stopped the fight or whatever. But anyways, Kauffman did what he had to do. And when I made that post-fight video, man, I remember Kauffman, his team coming out, or Kauffman himself coming out on the Reading Eagle, the local newspaper there in Reading, in Pennsylvania, saying that he was probably in line for Deontay Wilder when Deontay Wilder comes back. So I guess it wasn't far off, right? Because he's fighting on the undercard of Deontay Wilder, although he's not fighting Wilder himself, but he is fighting on the undercard, and he has the one loss. He would have had 2 losses to Areola. I thought he beat Areola. Even on my post-fight video, I thought that Kauffman won that by at least a point or 2. They gave it to Areola initially, then Areola failed the post-fight drug test, tested positive for marijuana, so it got changed to a no decision. And Kauffman, man, I go on his Facebook and I watch his training, watch him train and stuff. And he could use his legs a little bit. I noticed he has the knee braces on. He's had injuries and he has to overcome, whenever I see a guy with knee braces on, man, I'm always leery of, that guy. Not necessarily his skill, but just his legs, because obviously if your legs are 100%, you don't need knee braces, right? But, Kauffman will stand toe-to-toe with you, man. He's not just going to try to move around the ring the whole time. He was walking Areola down, hit Areola with some good right hands, dropped Areola, hit him with some damn good right hands. Kauffman can, he's a sneaky puncher a little bit. He'll, play possum a little bit and roll with some shots, and you'll think you're on attack against him, throwing punches, and then boom, he'll come out of that rolling defense and hit you with something to get your attention. You look at his one loss. He lost to what's that dude's name? Tony Grano. He fought him on Showbox years ago, man. Had to been like 2008 or 2009. It was years ago. But in that fight, he was winning the fight. He was busting Grano up, man, hitting him with good right hands, starting to walk him down. And Grano's a pressure fighter, just like Amir Mansour, right? And Kauffman started to walk him down, and Grano hit him with a good right hand? They clipped Kauffman, and he couldn't recover after that first good right hand he got caught with, and that fight ended up getting stopped. He even went down. Looked like Grano was like choked him on that last one. He just ended up kind of behind Kauffman, man, and had his arm caught on his neck and pushed him down. But Grano's a pressure fighter. He doesn't fight like Mansour. He's not a southpaw like Mansour was, but he's a pressure guy. And Mansour's another pressure guy. He's a 44-year-old pressure guy, but he's in some damn good shape. If you see Mansour, you wouldn't think he's 44 years old. Just by his physique and the motor he has when he's in there fighting. Kauffman, in my opinion, is going to have to try to imply a little bit of what Cunningham did to Mansour, which was another good fight, man. Mansour's been in some good dust-ups, man. I forgot about that Cunningham fight. Yeah, he was in he was in a good dust up with Cunningham. He even had Cunningham hurt. I think he knocked him down twice. You know what I mean, in that fight. So you got to box. You got to box Amir a little bit, man. Move a little bit, turn him. At least get some angles. If you're not moving and, you don't have to move it around the ring like Ali, but you at least got to keep him on the end of your jab and your punches, and try to just at least turn him and find some angles, man. But if Kauffman, chooses to fight a flat-footed fight, man, this is going to be an entertaining fight because Kauffman's not going to run away from a fight, and Amir Mansour likes to bring the fight to you. So I think this is going to be entertaining. I don't see Kauffman moving around the ring like that. I see him trying to get Amir's respect. I think he'll move when he has to, but as the fight goes on, these are heavyweights. You got to remember, these are heavyweights. They're going to slow down. So I think it's going to be a phone booth fight, probably the second half of the fight. I think it's going to be an interesting fight, man. All the way around the board. I think it's going to be an interesting fight just based on their styles. You guys, let me know what you think in the comments section, man. Travis Kauffman versus Amir Mansour. Who do you got winning this fight? Usually in a fight like this, you see a 44-year-old versus a 31-year-old. You automatically go with the 31-year-old. But Amir Mansour, besides suffering that cut in his mouth, and when he, he didn't come out of his corner in the Brazil fight, he's fought I think he's fought better competition than Travis Kauffman. And I think he's performed well in those fights, even in defeat. You know what I mean? So I'm going to roll with Amir Mansour, man. I'm going to roll with Amir Mansour in this fight. I really can't call if it's going to go decision or not, man. I think it'll go into the back half of the fight, but I think it's going to be a flat-footed fight in the back half of this fight. I think both guys are going to rumble, man. I really do. So if I do see a stoppage, I think it'd be like between rounds 7 and 10, because it's scheduled for a 10-rounder. So maybe a late stoppage, But I'm gonna go with Amir Mansour in this fight, man. But this is a winnable fight for Kauffman. It's a winnable fight. He is the younger guy, and sooner or later, Father Time does catch up with you. But Amir Mansour has been looking damn good, though, man. I don't know, man. This is an interesting fight. I'll favor Amir Mansour probably. I wouldn't even favor him 55-45. Maybe closer to like 51-49. I think this is a very close fight. But I just see if both these guys stand and trade at close quarters, Amir Mansour has the power advantage. He moves his head well. He's tough as nails. So is Kauffman. But I see him having the edge, and I think he's the quicker puncher on the inside. I think he's the better mid-range fighter. You know what I mean? But he can't sleep on Kauffman's right hand, because that right hand did drop Areola. Areola's a tough dude. You know what I mean? But I think Amir's just been in there with the more quality opposition over the last few years, and he's performed better, in my opinion. But you guys let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm out.